Yo, we have no clout.
Yeah, it's over, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yo,
it's over, bro. Yeah, nobody cares
12
to give a fuck
people?
about this debate.
It
Yeah,
has to
it's
be the
over, bro.
topic. It has to be the topic.
Promise you, it's not the topic, bro. We love this topic, man. We just don't want to see y'all debate.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Nah, this high tier ass debate, bro. Chill,
Oh,
bro. Hold on, bro.
14 people?
Hold on, bro.
Can anybody like record or no?
Nigga, bro, power's working, bro.
Bro, that no, I swear to God, like that shit does not.
All right, Gyro
work
say
in
he's recording. Gyro
spaces.
say he's recording, bro.
Oh, a lot of people
No,
are already
Jar's not recording
boycotting
that
the
shit, bro.
server. Oh,
Hey, Gyro, bro, you can record, right?
yeah, if you can.
Hey, Gyro.
T plus first instead.
Wait, Gyro has a PC. Yeah, Gyro.
Yeah,
Gyro's
Gyro's recording. Yo, he
Gyro's
just
my
met me.
buddy, man. Surely he'll record, right?
Yeah, Gyro's recording right now. He just told me.
Yo, he is not recording, bro.
Nigga, bro, you have power and Gyro on my mom leg, nigga.
Nani, if you can, just take the one from announcements and like copy paste it.
Hey,
Thank you,
Gyro,
by the
you
way.
recording, right?
Yeah, Gyro said he will. Gyro fucks with us so heavy. You know he will.
Hey, Gyro, look at DMs, brother. I sent you the link that you were talking about.
And ironically though, like we actually can't start with the
Bro, is
Power
that
bot
Blue
that
Marvel?
I debated Rizwan and like the first 30 minutes were inaudible. You
Yo,
can see
who
my
the
telltale.
fuck is that? Who the fuck is that?
Nigga, Gyro, are you recording or not, bro, right now?
Yo, Truth, can you record? Can any does anybody here like own anything that can record? Like, this is actually bad.
Yo, hey, Gyro, on God, you're weird, nigga. I bet. On God, you fake as I bet, Gyro, I bet.
I'm recording.
Wait, you're recording?
See.
Oh fuck.
That dude Infinity's wait, no, not me. I was reading off what Jara said.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
dude
no, that's why I
Infinity, bro.
said like it's bad, man.
Hold on,
Yo,
let me
why
see if I
is
can get someone to
everybody
record.
coming up? What's wrong with these guys?
Let me ask them if they can record. Hold on.
Fucking Blue Marvel on stage. Out here. All right, I guess we'll do it with this, and then Hermes, can you record? Is that not possible?
Bro, my shit would explode if I did that.
Oh my god. Slash
Hold on, I'm
record.
asking people if they can record.
I'm gonna use like 7 bots, bro. It's fine. Okay, and this bot can't record in stages for whatever reason. Also, I don't
Just
know how
be
to use Greg
Aston.
bot.
Aston can he can record.
Oh
He
shit,
recorded,
Aston. Yeah. Let me DM Aston, and then Hermes, can you debate Zizo to record, or can you ping Zizo?
Yo,
to
what?
record?
Yeah, hold on, let me see.
That was
I don't know
brutal.
if Ziz is even on his PC.
Aston. Let's say, bro, we
Ziz
need you.
is in stage. Ziz,
We
can you
need you
record?
to record. Maybe we should have gotten that like situated before we pinged, but fuck.
Yeah, we got no promotion, bro. It's just immediately joined, bro. No promotion, bro.
Yo, this has like this has to be like people boycotting, bro. There's no way. Mind you, my debate with D1 had like 50 people on like
Yeah, because D want to go.
half the people at the time.
Bro, who the fuck is Hermes, bro? Yo, they know who D1 is, bro. They know who D1
Yeah,
is,
like
bro.
Hermes is just like some random just a goon.
Oh, we did
Yo,
run this exact topic. This isn't a topic issue. Oh. Can
I got a 90 man
anybody
PC.
record? Like, is there not
Okay,
a
I'm
single
recording right now,
person
bro. Like, damn.
yeah, he's not recording.
Infinity, like,
He's on his phone.
Infinity doesn't even like.
He's on his
record
fucking
own debate.
phone, bro.
I'll screenshot now, bro. Look at chat.
All right, bro. If it corrupts, like, I don't care. I guess we could just start,
Look at chat, bro.
bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does not a single soul has ABS? Like, we can just start. I guess this is.
Yo, chill. Hold on, chill. Let me get someone, bro. Chill.
Can you OBS?
I promise
Bro,
you,
like,
Power Ball's not as ass as y'all making a scene, bro.
Bro, it recorded me versus Rizhan. It did not record that shit. It recorded a 1 minute debate between Darn and Yurnish, and it didn't record that shit. Like all you hear is cutting
Yeah,
out.
bro,
Like it's
they
terrible.
took priority, bro. We trying to see that
Bro,
dark shit.
hold on. Let me, bro. I need it, bro. Hold on. I'm about to DM my friend. Hold on.
Like, bro. Bro, I have to send Kirk on, bro. Like I have to get this out somehow.
But this debate already got fucking no one watching, bro. This shitty ass fucking debate, bro.
Mind you, there's more people joining and they're all about to leave because we just can't debate for whatever reason.
Chill. We need a.
I ain't gonna lie, definitely white. Like Yugi, like realistically, if you look at them, bro, white people they just look better, bro. Black look
boys.
nasty. You said what?
Yo, why are you talking about femboys, bro? What are we? Fuck are we talking about? Let's.
Yeah, no, my friend can't. Rec. I would just start then.
Yeah, just if anybody can OBS this, please do. If not, then I guess we'll use Pawa. Yeah. Why do you think Sasuke VC?
I just think Sasuke is like generally faster, bro. He's just gonna beat his ass, bro.
He's faster than Leah, dude. You approve
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, hold on. Let me send that shit.
Send it in scans. They're like flooding general with gay, freaky shit.
Are you ready, bro?
Me?
Yeah. Are you ready?
What are you asking me, bro? I'm beyond ready. Yeah.
You said in scans, right? No more scans. There's no important scans or anything.
No, we only have scans.
All right. All right. So Sasuke is able to. Yeah, he's already subbing, bro. Yeah, Sasuke is able to use his Chidori, and Lee isn't. And we know that the Chidori's based on like your ability of speed. It basically explains it as like a thrust speed attack, and that specifically has to use speed in order to do it.
What part am I reading? You just said a whole lot.
The bottom right. So Lee sees Sasuke activate his Chidori, and he says, "If that was me, I couldn't have done it. Like he couldn't even launch it."
Yeah, rather I couldn't have. A beeline attack is easy to counter or avoid, and I don't have the eye to perceive and see through that counter. And he says, if it had been me, I wouldn't have launched a head-on full speed
Whoa,
attack
wait!
on
I
my
think I just
opponent
said
like
that
that.
slipping of doom. Did you
Yeah,
say it
that's
was
a
based
statement
off
of doom.
his? Hold on. Did you think it was based on his inability to use his
It
like eye or
states
something?
what do you think about him saying I wouldn't have been able to launch a full-on head-on full speed attack like that? Like that seems to speak relatively to his own speed. Like quite trivially. He's not saying he can't run as fast as Sasuke. He's saying if he goes full speed, he can't do this thing.
If he himself can't
Yes,
activate
he
this attack.
literally says that. He says I wouldn't have gone full speed like that. I
So
wouldn't
are
have
you
launched
saying
a
that?
head-on
Hold
full
on,
speed
hold on, hold
attack
on,
on my
hold on, hold
opponent
on.
like that. Like that's quite
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah, no, hold on. He literally says, or rather, I couldn't have. He replaces the wouldn't with a couldn't.
That doesn't respond to the point. Do you want to move
Wait,
on?
did you say anything about his eye? Because at the start you were saying something, and I was reading something.
That part's irrelevant if this part does if this like doesn't go through.
Okay, and say your point again.
Yeah, so he says I wouldn't have been able to I wouldn't have launched a full-on head speed attack like that on my opponent. So it's to say like it speaks relatively of his own speed. It's not reference to any of
So,
Sasuke's
so when you say that, what do you mean that he's speaking relativity zone is not speaking to Sasuke? Is he saying that
I
this
wouldn't have
isn't
launched a
referring to
head-on full
because Sasuke is able
Oh,
to do
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because Sasuke is able to do this ability. When Lee's making a statement, he's referring to what Sasuke is able to do. Because
Yeah, that's
he's
fine. But
literally
he's saying, yeah, so he's not able to replicate this regardless of whether he uses his own speed. So it doesn't speak in reference to it being too fast in terms of like the movement speed. He
What do you mean
says,
he can't?
he,
He's in reference
oh
not
my God,
relative to his own
he
speed.
says, I wouldn't have charged head on full speed at my opponent like that.
Couldn't.
So he's saying and then he corrects himself to couldn't, but that's the only
Yeah.
or that's the only thing that changes within it. So he's saying that he can't go full speed at his opponents in the same manner Sasuke did. It's not to say that he can't run as fast as Sasuke. He's making a relative claim. He's saying, let's say Hermes, you run full speed and dunk a basketball, right? But my ACL's fucked. So if I were to do that, I'd tear my shit again. And then I say I couldn't have done something like that with my speed. That's the type of claim he's making.
So just to be clear, so my entire point is just that he himself can't do this ability because he sees what Sasuke is able. Sorry, he sees what Sasuke is able to do, And he himself says, if I was in that position, I couldn't have done this thing, which is a modal claim, speaking about his capabilities of doing this thing.
Yeah, that's fine. We can move on then. That's not a response.
So just say
And
it
then
again. Like your point's kind of vague. That's the problem here. Can you just
I,
make your
I
point
think
clear
it's
again to
very
everybody?
clear, but yeah, maybe it's my fault. I'll say it one more time. Okay, when I say something like um I can't do this thing or I wouldn't have done something like that,
Mhm,
right? In terms of like a certain speed. So he doesn't say I wouldn't have ran or I couldn't have ran like Mach 7. He says I wouldn't have
mhm.
ran as fast as I possibly could because there's some condition there that I personally can't fulfill. So it's to say relatively, let's say I have fucked up knees and you
Mhm.
like just start pogo jumping and I'm like I wouldn't have done something like that because my knees are fucked, right? It's not to say that I'm talking about literally jumping as high as you. I'm saying I wouldn't do that sort of action in general. I wouldn't put the same amount of effort as you would in that situation or try to replicate this sort of thing because there's some condition there. So that doesn't
Okay, so
speak
what
in relative.
condition do you think is making Lee unable to do this?
I don't need to make a claim on that. There just
Because you
is a
just
condition, very
so
obviously.
what's the condition? Yeah, what's the condition?
Okay, that's not. Do you think that's a relevant point?
I think it's a relevant point because you're saying specifically that in the analogy that you gave, you said that because of this special condition, they're not able to do something that someone else is
It,
doing. I'm trying to ask what this condition is. It's equivalent to a broken knee.
No, if I just say I can't do this thing and I let's say like I cut off and I'm gonna speak on some condition, but I don't. It doesn't mean that the condition just now doesn't exist. He frames it in the same way, so it's to say that there is some condition there that he can't fulfill, but it's not to speak on him being slower than Sasuke. That's the only part I care about. All I care
So
about
wait,
is if the
are you
claim is
just giving
saying,
like so?
wait, let
Hold
me
on.
finish, please. Wait, can you please let me finish?
Yeah,
Um,
continue.
all I care about there is that he's not saying he's slower than Sasuke. Very trivial.
Yeah, are you just saying that? Wait, hold on. So are you just saying that it's like possible that it's not referring to his inability or
No,
speed,
I'm
but you're
saying
saying
it's
this is
not.
some other condition?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not saying it's not making a comparative statement like I can't run as fast as Sasuke. That's not what he's saying at all.
He's saying he can't perform this ability, correct? I'm just trying to get
Um,
like I don't know why you were not responding. It wasn't meant to be
no,
like a
no, no,
difficult
no, no.
response.
I wasn't. That wasn't like a sort of like a um non-response to you. I was typing something out. What did you say?
Okay.
What was the
Yeah,
question?
I just wanted to be kind of I just want to be kind of clear on like what you're trying to say. So you're trying to say specifically that you don't believe that the reason why he is unable to perform this ability is because of his speed?
Uh, what?
Because you keep saying there's some sort of condition. I'm trying to get a feel of what you're trying to say here. You're saying that
Yeah,
this
yeah, no, no,
ability
no. I
he's
have.
unable to do not
If
because of
you're
his speed?
asking me, I don't like. I didn't care to like look into what condition it. I'm just denying the claim that he's saying he can't run as fast as Sasuke runs. That's not what's said here.
Okay, yeah. And so the entire point that I'm trying to make is specifically that the reason you're able to launch this attack is through your ability of speed. So if you're unable to do it, you're not as fast as the other person.
Ability of speed insofar as running full speed, sure. I don't think it speaks on any sort of like numerical speed.
What do you mean
Also,
by
wait, no, no,
running
no.
full
Quite,
speed?
quite
Wait,
clearly, he's not.
hold on.
Even if it, wait, no, 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 you're not getting it. Even if it did speak on some sort of numerical speed, he's not saying that he wouldn't or he couldn't do this because he can't run that fast. He's saying like there's some other condition, like because he's saying he can like run full speed at his opponent like this. He's just saying there's some condition there. Maybe like, for example, maybe if I run full speed at my opponent, I just got a
No, that is not what he's
circumcision,
saying.
so my dick's gonna start hurting, so I wouldn't do something like that. Like, there's just
No,
another condition that isn't to speak of his speed relatively to Sasuke's, quite obviously. What are you
no, that's
talking
not what he's
about?
talking about. He said specifically, I understand that if that had been me, and what we're referring to is initiating this attack, he specifically says, I wouldn't have launched on a full speed attack on my opponent like that,
Exactly.
or rather, I couldn't have. So what they're referring to when he says a full speed attack, he's not saying like generally I wouldn't have went all out, right? He's saying he couldn't have performed this specific move, and the specific move being referenced here is Chidori, which needs you to use your speed in order to do it. So he's saying he doesn't
Yeah,
have the
that's
capabilities.
not a defeater.
I want to be very clear on this. It's talking about the capabilities. I mean, nothing in his arsenal allows him to do this. There's nothing he can do to do this. So when you say this is a
He can't
specific
do this.
condition,
Wait, he
I
to
think,
say you can't do this because of some condition isn't the same as saying you can't do this because of an amalgamation of
yeah, I
conditions.
don't,
Obviously, like if
yeah,
there's some. Wait, let me finish. Obviously, like if there's some necessary condition there that isn't that like doesn't follow or like some necessary condition there that he doesn't possess, then surely he wouldn't be able to perform such a feat. But that doesn't say that like it has to be that's not how necessary conditions work. If he can't use one, then he can't use the technique, or he can't like um use a technique, I guess, in the same way Sasuke did, that doesn't mean that he can't use any necessary condition. That's clearly like just not true.
Yeah, so let me be clear on this. So for the whole like condition thing, you brought up like a knee. I said specifically for that. There's no external reason as to why you can't do this. It's all internal. There's no nerf on this character or anything like that. I just want to be clear on this point. But specifically as to why I believe that all conditions are being inclusive of
Wait,
this
wait,
thing
wait.
is
Did
that
you
it's
just make a
specifically
claim that he can't? I'm sorry. Can we stay on that? Did
Well,
you
I'm
just
sorry.
say
No, no,
there's
no,
no
no.
other
Can we
reason?
please let people finish the arguments? Like,
Hold on. Can you get down? Why are you here? So Hermes, can you?
No, I do want to finish my point there. I do want to finish my point there because you did make what the fuck just happened to
yeah,
both of
yeah.
you?
I'm not one of these like
You're
random
not
looks.
allowed to
Like, you're
come
not
up.
about to just.
I don't know why he's coming up. It's
Yeah, anyway. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was already up. By the way, I don't know why you said well, I'm coming up. I was already up.
Yo,
Like,
yeah,
what?
chill.
Yeah, I meant again,
Anyways,
and then you kicked me down. But yeah, I'll just take the perms. It's fine. So yeah,
hold
I
on.
guess you
No,
can
hold on.
finish
I
your
just want to make my point clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna finish
I
my
said
point.
I
Just hold
guess
on.
you can finish your point. Go ahead, but it
Yeah.
seems like very
Yeah,
weird
anyways.
there.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, specifically, I just want to say that there's nothing like limiting this character in any external facet. So it's literally just talking about his internal capabilities. And then I want to talk about specifically like what are these capabilities? Sorry, what conditions are making him unable to do this? When you say
We just know it's
sorry,
not speed. Oh,
oh my
sorry,
god,
sorry,
hold on.
sorry. I thought you were
Specifically,
saying you wanted to talk about that.
yeah, specifically when when someone says they are unable to do this thing, that means no condition that they have in their own capabilities are allowing to do this thing. It's a modal claim. So he specifically goes from that he wouldn't, which would be referring to things like you prefer not to do this thing. There's a reason that makes you not want to do this thing, or that I don't know. It's just not in your favor. These are all something of a different modal claim. But the
Yeah,
modal
no,
claim
no, we don't
specifically being
disagree with
used
the
here. Hold on,
modality.
hold on.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no.
Yeah. So
I'm
the
just saying, like, you
modality
don't have to
specifically
argue
being
this.
used here is that hold on, hold on. So the
We
modality
agree
here
with the
specifically
modality. Like, just ignore that point.
hold on.
We agree.
Hold on.
He doesn't
So the
have the
modality
ability to do
specifically,
this.
yeah, you're just repeating yourself, bro. So specifically,
What are you
the thing
talking
being
about? I
used
agree
here,
with you.
hold on. Specifically being used here is that he couldn't have done this thing, meaning no ability, no trait he has allows him to specifically launch this attack. He doesn't have the necessary speed to launch this attack. We know specifically that in order to actually launch this attack, it's based on your speed. It's specifically because prior to this, it's specifically talked about that Sasuke had to train up his speed in order to use this attack. So we know the main condition in order to, use this attack is your speed. And he says that nothing of his capabilities allows him to do this thing. Meaning, one of the things that he doesn't have is a speed that Sasuke has in order to perform this attack.
Wait, are you being serious? Is that like
Yeah.
the actual response? Okay, I guess we don't disagree on the modality. He does says like he does say he can't do this, whether like that be some sort of like why is trouble coming up? Whether that be due to like some sort of by couldn't do this. Do you think that's to say he literally can't perform this as in efficiently or like it
He
wouldn't
can't
work at
perform it.
all?
That's how that mentality works. Is that you
Okay,
literally
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
do
yeah.
it. He's unable to do this.
That's not how that modality works intrinsically. But we can
How,
I
wait,
can
what do
just
you mean
affirm
doesn't work
that.
intrinsically like that?
Yeah, yeah, I can just affirm that.
So
So
you
then
agree? So wait. So
all
you
that's to
agree?
say, all that's can you wait a second? All that's to say is like there is some condition that he doesn't meet. You saying like speed is one necessary condition isn't a rebuttal at all.
I
And
don't
then
think
like
so.
to say that, yeah, yeah, to say that it's speed at all with like this or like when we clearly read what he says and it speaks in reference to him, even if he goes all like full speed, he couldn't do this. So like that clearly isn't the necessary condition he can't meet. It's just very obvious. Then yeah, like I really don't see the argument. Also, wait, no, I have to say this too. You kind of said like some sort of I don't remember exactly what you said. This is why I wanted to like ask you about it. You made some sort of like presupposition that like there were no other relevant conditions or like something like that. You said we think we know this. I don't know if we know that.
Yeah, no,
If
specifically
there's
just that.
something
If you're
akin to something you said, then yeah, I just don't affirm that to be true. It's not
Yeah,
something that
specifically, yeah, it was just specifically that when you're unable to do this thing, it's contributing all factors. So no matter none of your capabilities are able to do this thing is when you're saying you're incapable. But I just want to ask you quick, when you say intrinsically we don't do this, I want to affirm that. Are you saying that we can affirm my interpretation of what the word capable is being used here? Or are you saying you want to affirm specifically that we intrinsically don't use
it's
the
the word
word can't?
couldn't.
Yeah.
It's the word couldn't. But no, to say you couldn't do something, it could either mean that like you couldn't do it like at all, like there's not there's something that prohibits you, or couldn't could be like maybe like you couldn't do this in the sense that this is like some sort of battle tactic, and if you try to do so, there'd be something prohibiting it from being effective in any way. So like in some
Yeah, no,
pragmatic
that's
sense, you couldn't do it.
That would just a lot. Yeah, that would just work in favor of wouldn't instead of the modality of couldn't. Because
You know, that's
if
not
you're
true.
able, so hold on. If you're unable to do something in an effective manner, that would just be talking about your preferability, meaning you don't prefer to do this thing, you wouldn't like to do this thing because it's ineffective towards you. But you wouldn't say that you cannot do this thing unless you add in the extra context of that statement to say I can't do this thing effectively, which is specifically isn't being stated here. That's an extra condition you're adding. Then it's going to be unlikely compared to my
Wait, yeah.
interpretation.
To be clear, do you think people that say I can't cheat, or like when you're like let's go to the club, like you should cheat on the guy, like it's cool. When girls say that to their friends and they're like, oh, I can't. Do you think they're making like do you think they literally physically can't do that, or do you think it's something that like they choose not to do, like they have like very strong reasons to not want to do this, right? Like there's just nothing good that comes out of it. Like quite clearly, you can use those sort of statements in some sort of like pragmatic sense, so it just wouldn't be
Yeah,
effective in any way.
specifically, you just use context
Trivial.
that allows us. Hold on. So specifically, that you just gave context that allows us to derive the the extra condition on the word can't here. So I can't do this thing without being like dishonest, right? That's more so what they're making that claim to be. But I think the modality that'll fit more specifically in that instance would be wouldn't. So I think right there they just use the modality poorly, and it would make more sense to say I wouldn't do this thing because it doesn't follow with what I like to do. So when someone specifically says no, it's not that I wouldn't do this thing, it's that I couldn't do this thing. They're specifically denying that it's some based on some sort of preference that they can't do this thing. So I think it's more likely the
Yeah,
case he's just talking about
insofar as if
his
as
capabilities.
insofar as like maybe if you wouldn't do this thing, like maybe you have some reasons not to do it, but like couldn't is to say like maybe this thing is like there's no positive to this thing, or like there's no reason or
No,
maybe like it has
no,
more
that's
negatives than positives. Yeah, in
no,
the
yeah.
same
Again,
sense
I
as the
think that's
cheating
kind of just
scenario.
repeating
So
yourself.
again, yeah, but you affirm there's some sort of difference there between the cheating scenario. I think there she just has strong feelings against this thing. I also think that quite trivially, like it's just to say that there's maybe in her like mind or like her sense of like morality, maybe there's no positive to come from this. It's purely negative. So in the same way, if Lee were to like try to mimic this technique, and like maybe it led to like him just insta fucking dying or losing the battle, then he'd say I couldn't do this. It's not that he physically can't perform it. It's just to say that if he did, there'd be something that makes like it just makes it lose the positive effect.
Yeah, I specifically deny that that's how the word couldn't can be used here. We
Do you
specifically
want
know, like you even
examples?
agreed to. Hold on. So specifically, I already explained that specifically for the example you just gave there, but I just want to explain. You agree to the modality. So the modality here is literally that they cannot do this thing. That's what the modal claim is that they can't do this thing. So again, I already explained if it's something based on like outweighing the positives and negatives, that more makes sense to say that you wouldn't do this thing. So even if they say typically people use this thing in this manner, that's more so referring to that they can't do this thing under a specific category of things. And I think that that's a extra condition you're asserting, so you have to prove that. I think it's less likely just intuitively to say that specifically for this instance. And again, I already feel like if you're weighing the effectiveness of this thing, that's more so preferability because you don't want to do this thing because it doesn't align with your goals. That's
Wait.
specifically the
Do you know
modality they
what?
claim.
Wait, okay, I don't want to like. Well, you kind of brought it here, so I guess I'll do it. Do you know what modality? Like, do you know like different? I don't think you're using modality correctly, or I think
I think I am.
you're saying that like by
Very
modality.
clearly.
No, this isn't. You're not. I'll explain it to you, and you could search it up and see if you're wrong. But this isn't like to hate on you or anything. I think you're just in modality. Are you speaking of like possibility versus necessity versus things like that?
No, no. Those
Okay, because if
that
what you mean by modality isn't that, then there's different forms of modality. Like it could be like physically impossible or under some like deontic modality, which is what I'm affirming. When you say like something like you can't park here, right? It's not to say you literally can't park there. It's to say that like it's forbidden in a sense.
just yeah, just be clear on
There's
that.
a
That's
epistemic
permissibility. That's
modality.
permissibility. There's not no hold on. Just be clear on that. That's specifically
There's a
permissibility.
epistemic modality. Yeah, but you
Okay.
can't park here is to say it's not to say you literally can't do this thing. Do you think that if I say you can't park here, you can't take your car and literally just go park there? Like, are you stupid?
Yeah, yeah, I think you just fucked yourself there. So specifically, let's talk about permissibility, which is the other modality that can be derived from the word couldn't. And we understand that in this situation, there's no high authoritative figure saying that he is not permissed in order to do this ability, so that this doesn't apply to this situation. So yes, there are instances where couldn't can be used in a sense that you're not that you're unable to do this thing, but that specifically has to be that referring to permissibility. That's the only way that couldn't could be used
I
to
I
in that
I wasn't done,
modality.
but I don't know if you're understanding. Do you know what epistemic modality is?
Yeah, that's just referring to like it's
Do you
referring
know
to
what?
things that
Okay,
you
what would
assume
be the?
impossible based on your own knowledge.
No, that is not the definition of epistemic modality. When you
I
say
don't know about.
epistemic modality,
I
what you
wasn't
mean
talking about
to
the
say? Yeah,
definition.
yeah. Well, no, what you said is just already wrong. What you
I
mean to
I
say
was
there
speaking
is,
about the name.
yeah, what you mean to say there is we know it's unlikely or not true that you will or can. Like it's to say that it's unlikely, or maybe it's not true. That's not to make
Wait,
some sort
hold
of
on.
a
Let me.
firm or guaranteed claim.
Um.
Wait, hold on. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick. Wait, no, I don't want to be a dick. Can we just, I'll like, by couldn't, you just mean he literally can't do
Sorry,
this
it just
thing.
sounded
Like,
like you
it's
slipped in something
logical.
and said you want to be a dick. It just sounded like you slipped in
No,
something and said you don't want to be a dick.
That's why I don't mean to, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like I'm being a dickhead
Specifically
by, like,
for
arguing
so
about this.
specific for
No,
epistemic modality that will be
I'm gonna try to
hold on.
man you, brother.
Just be clear on that. That will
Okay.
specifically use terms like must, may, or sorry. That we specifically use in terms like must, may, or might happen. So that those are more talking about your knowledge of that thing. So again,
Okay,
the
so
modality doesn't
I
apply here
couldn't.
because
Uh,
it's specifically. Hold on, I just want to make this very clear. We
yeah.
understand the modality being used based on the wording of the person using the person's language. So
Yeah,
specifically for the
okay.
word couldn't, it's either talking about capabilities or permissibility. We understand permissibilities in him, and he's talking about capabilities.
It's not true, but let's just say okay. So I'm guessing that the affirmation here is when he says he can't do this, it's to say that there's some condition that doesn't allow this to happen, right?
So
Is
when you
that a
say
yes?
condition, that sounds more like an external condition. No, I think it's just that he doesn't have the capabilities in order to do this thing. He's incapable of doing it. Nothing of his capabilities allows him to do this thing.
No, he says specifically the reason he couldn't have, mind you, again, the whole full on head attack, full speed head attack part. I don't know if there was a response for that, but it like the whole reason he says I couldn't have is because he doesn't have the eye to perceive and see through some counter. He literally says that.
Okay, finally you actually make the fucking argument. But anyways, no, yeah, specific for the full speed attack, he's specifically
Yeah,
referring to
I
the
was trying to be a
launch.
dick. I can't lie. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah, specifically
yeah,
for
you're good,
so
bro.
specifically for the whole full speed launch attack. Sorry, no, full speed thing. I don't think he's referring to the full speed part. He's specifically referring to his ability to launch the attack. That's what I'm talking about. And then again, the reason as to why I think it's more likely the case that your ability, sorry, the thing that is going to be contingent on this ability to work is specifically just your speed is because prior to this, they explained that Sasuke was specifically training just his speed individually in order to try and use his moves. So I think that that's the contingent ability. That's what's based on is your speed in order to activate or launch this
It's
attack. And then I just want to
wait,
say, sorry, specifically to what you just said, the Sharingan. Again, I feel like that's talking about not terms of capability because you're still capable of doing it. You just lose. That's more talking about preferability, which would be using the term wouldn't, which he again excludes by saying I would rather say couldn't instead of wouldn't here.
wait. What do you? Hold on. What do you think is meant by permissibility?
Permissibility just means like some authoritative figure is telling you you're not allowed to do this thing, and that's why you say I can't do this thing. So it's like when you ask the teacher, "Can I go to the bathroom?" You're not asking, "Am I literally capable of walking to the bathroom right now?" You're asking, "Am I allowed to do this thing?" So that's the only other modality that can be derived from the word couldn't, and we know that's not what's being referred to because no authoritative figure is saying you're not allowed to use your fucking Chidori.
It Yeah, but if the authoritative figure is just himself insofar as he doesn't want to die, maybe like, or he doesn't want to lose the fight, and he loses the fight if he does this because they literally say, or he literally says, or like the way he says it, sorry, is sort of implicative, or not even implicative. It just straight up says that like him running full speed, he kind of draws that sort of comparison. Like that's not the issue in this sort of ability. After he says I couldn't have, he goes on to explain why. He doesn't explain why beforehand. He then says because a B line attack is easy to counter or avoid, and he doesn't have the eye to see through that counter. Obviously, if Sasuke is to train his physical body to be able to do this ability, it's to say that that condition, insofar as maybe the effectiveness, because again I don't see scans for that being some sort of necessary
I can send
condition,
you.
but yeah,
Let me
again, so
see.
in terms of effectiveness, sure, like he needed to get faster, but we know he gets faster to match. I literally believe he gets faster by training to I guess like mimic Lee's movements, but He literally already has a Chidori, so I don't see why he need to practice that sort of condition, or why that sort of condition isn't something that's like immediately met. That seems interesting.
Okay, yeah. So for the
Like
first
very
response, you
cool.
said that why wouldn't the permissibility just be credited towards himself? I believe that's not the case because it's more so when you're talking about permissibility, it's more so some sort of external figure that's not allowing you to do this thing. I don't understand why he himself is not
Wait, why
permitting
is that the
himself to
case?
do this thing.
Wait, why is that the
Um,
case?
because when it's referring to yourself, when you say that I'm not allowed to do this thing, obviously he himself he is able to allow himself to do this thing, meaning it makes the sense from saying I can't do this thing because someone doesn't allow me to do it. It makes no sense because he
Wait,
just
wait,
gives
wait,
himself the
wait, wait.
permissibility to do that thing.
Sorry.
And also, I just want to
Wait,
specifically
no,
say, I
no,
just want
no,
to
no, no, no.
specifically say,
I
hold on,
don't
I just want
wanna.
to,
Wait, wait, wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait, wait,
no,
wait.
in order to,
No, no, no.
conjunct to that,
No,
in
no, no. I
conjunct to that,
want you to read. I
hold on,
just want you to
in conjunct,
restate that. I just want you to restate that, bro.
okay,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
gonna
So
make the
specifically for
argument. You're good.
yeah, so specifically for permissibility, it's referring to like some sorry, some sort of authoritative figure that's saying you're not allowed to do this thing. He himself is able to allow him to do this thing. So I don't understand when he say he's not allowed to do this
Yeah,
thing. It's more so
another
a
figure can
general
also
claim.
do the
And then
same thing.
secondly,
That's not an
hold on,
argument.
I just want to make this clear. I just want to make this clear.
It's not a response.
No, they are no. Okay, I'll explain that typically for examples,
Wait.
but also specific. Hold on. Also, typically when someone uses like a permissibility claim, it's someone of an external figure that does this. So I think that's just more
Wait,
likely to be the
usually
case
doesn't
because that's
speak
how
on
that
if
works.
it's no. That
Hmm?
usually doesn't speak on if it can't happen at all. Obviously, if the
That's not what I'm
conditions
making
were
a statement on.
yeah,
That's not what I'm
yeah,
making a
you can
statement on.
be more likely. Do you understand that likelihood speaks in terms of context, right? Like, obviously, it's not likely I would go and kill a man, but if he murdered my whole family and brutally raped them, then you change the likelihood there. Yeah, now I have good reasons to kill the man, right? So if
That's
you're not saying
completely
that it's
irrelevant. So I
impossible,
understand context. Hold on,
but yeah,
hold
if
on.
you're saying that it's
Hold on.
possible,
I can understand. Hold on, you asked
no,
me
I
a
wasn't
question.
finished. So you need to stop
Okay.
talking. So if it's to say like there's some it's just unlikely, or like usually when we say permissibility, we're talking about some external figure. It's not really a response to it being an internal figure in this instance. Very obviously.
Yeah, okay, so specifically for that, because you did make multiple points prior to that. That's why I wanted to respond to what you said specifically there, because I literally made one point and it cut me off, and now we're talking about this one point specifically, but you made multiple points. So I just want to specifically talk about the thing you said where, oh yeah, another figure can also give you, I just want to like lay out the points real quick. You said specifically that another authoritative figure is allowed to revoke their unpermissibility. The reason as to why I'm saying that's not analogous to the situation is because it's in the sense that that person isn't going to change or their current desires until some sort of external condition changes that thing. And I think specifically for this, it's just based on his own desires, able to do whatever the fuck he wants here, and not in the sense that oh he has some sort of reason not to do this thing that its effectiveness is going to play on his desires because that will more so fit on the word couldn't, and they specifically exchange that modality here, meaning I think it's referring to his sort of wants or desires to do the thing because it would have made more sense for him to say wouldn't. But secondly, as well, when you said that context what plays in the likelihood, specifically the context here is speaking in a likelihood that would make it unlikely for him to speak about permissibility, because normally when people talk about permissibility, they talk about an external authoritative figure. And I don't think the analogy you gave really applies here because it's more so speaking about I can't do this thing, which again I think is not being used correctly here. You're more so saying that I wouldn't do this thing because it won't fulfill my goals. Another way someone could say I can't kill someone is specifically because the law not allowing you to do it, which is another just external figure or external authoritative figure. But there's multiple other points you made specifically as well. You said the whole thing for the condition of the speed thing. Yeah, so I can send the scans if you want. That just basically talks about the reason as to why Sasuke trained his speed in order to use Chidori. So the whole point is that I don't think you've given any order some sort of likelihood to explain or affirm that the reason or some other trait that allows you to use Chidori is not going to be speed specifically. So I'm doing here is showing some sort of likelihood, some sort of likelihood increaser to say it's specifically speed that's the condition that allows you to do this ability by showing that Sasuke was training signal to use this ability. And then again, I just want to say for the full speed attack thing, this is not in reference to his full speed attack, it's in reference to the launch. He's incapable of launching this attack.
God. Wait, so you made like conflicting points at the start there. Are you saying he like you can't be like there can't be some internal permissibility, or are you saying that it's unlikely because
It's
again
just
it seems
very,
like
very
you
unlike. It's just
seems like
very,
you
very unlikely. It's very
no it's
unnatural
just
for you to say that
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
That
not
was
permitting myself to do
the
this thing.
question. That was the question. Okay. Insofar as like the conditions you presented, I don't see why like those permissions. I didn't see the sort of link you drew. I don't think you ever said it. You kind of just gave me your thoughts. I don't think you ever drew that to some sort of actual like, rooted reason why we can't accept this to be the case. You said you can't like
For what to be the
it
case?
can't
That's kind of vague.
and then you said it can't be impermissible insofar as like some internal thing because you just wouldn't want to do this. Yeah, but like that's obviously that's to speak of degrees in the same way that like um maybe somebody who can't cheat on their boyfriend or if you say like you can't park here, um maybe that's to say like oh like maybe you wouldn't want to park here um because like a homeless man rob you. But then like if you have stronger desires, the permissibility changes. That's quite trivial. And then what else did you speak on? You spoke on a lot. Again, I still see no rebuttal to like the whole like speed point. That I don't think you just ever responded to that. And then I guess yeah, you can send the scans for that. I'm still waiting for those. And then the whole like conditions shit, you saying that like Sasuke needed to fill the condition of speed. Well, yeah, even if speed was a condition, we just obviously know Sasuke was way slower than Lee. So Lee's like speed is his strong point. It's quite literally stated many times. He's even unsurpassable in speed. And we know that they kind of like are shocked that Sasuke is even able to run at some level comparable to Lee. Um, so yeah, that just doesn't seem to be a response. And then you saying that the condition is speed. Again, I'd need to see the argument for that. That seems to speak on there being no external conditions that Lee just can't fulfill for some reason. And then again, I think one of those, or I think the condition, very obviously, if I had to like put my finger on it, would be the Sharingan eye. He later goes on to explain how like in some sort of like pragmatic sense, if he were to run straight at it, the dude would just easily get countered, and he wouldn't be able to like dodge the counter or anything. Like he just states that. We'll see like he puts some like a heavy amount of importance on like the Sharingan. So like if the condition is die, and we know that like Sasuke has the Sharingan, so he doesn't need to train that sort of reaction, that sort of reaction speed. But Lee might need to. Then like yeah, that could be the sufficient condition, or sorry, that could be like some necessary condition that he doesn't fill. That's not an issue with me.
So say that last bit again. I just want to make sure I
If
got that.
yeah, you're good. The last part regarding the eye, right? To be
Just like literally the last thing you said. I was in there for like 2 seconds because I was just
oh
reading. I'm
yeah, yeah.
trying to get the panel.
All I said was Sasuke has the eye, Lee doesn't. So like if he's seen not
Okay.
training there's no need for him to train something he's like has intrinsically.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the scan that hold on. I'm gonna go get the scan for fucking hold on, bro. Where does it say you can move? Oh, here it is. I found it. Yo, hold on, bro.
No, you're good. I can wait. I'm not like rushing you.
I need to get on my phone to get it, bro. Oh, here it is. I found it. I was also typing down the fucking arc so I can better get it right. But yeah, so specifically for the whole can't park here thing again, I think that when you say I can't do this thing again, normally let's talk about permissibility that you're unable to do this thing. I already explained why I think that's more likely to be an external authoritative figure, not in reference to your own wants or desires to do this thing. Again, I think that even if someone was using the term couldn't here incorrectly with a wrong modality, I think when someone specifically says that they would rather say couldn't than wouldn't, then it's basically negating the fact that this is some sort of incorrect use of the modality and saying that it's more in reference to your desires. And then you said that the whole Lee faster, like he's that we know he's faster here. That's what's being put into question here. That's what I'm trying to argue right now is that Sasuke is faster because he's able to use abilities. When you say Lee is faster, we know Lee's faster. This is basically begging the question. And you also brought up the whole unsurpassed thing. I specifically want to say that
Oh
that
yeah,
is
I
his
cut
main.
out.
Hold on, hold on.
I cut out. Wait, no, I
Oh,
cut
would you
out.
cut it out? Yeah, no,
Could
no.
you,
Would you cut it out?
could you just like repeat that part?
Which
Whatever the
one?
part of the argument, right? I cut out after you said something about the impermissibility of the car. So like after you talked about like the sort of modal claim, that's where I cut out.
Okay. So you got past the modal point thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I just said that. what was it specifically? The holy. Oh yeah, you said that we know that Lee's faster, and that's what's basically being put into question. Is I'm trying to argue that Sasuke's faster. You basically just begged the question there. So what I'm putting into
Wait,
question is that
I didn't beg the
Sasuke.
question.
Hold on.
Wait,
So what's being?
no, no,
Hold on. Let me just finish my argument
wait.
because
I just don't
I let
want
you make.
you.
I let you make your argument, bro. I let you make your
No,
argument, bro.
I
Unless you
don't
want to,
like.
because
If
there
you
are a bunch of points that we continue off.
okay,
Unless you want to put
I
all those
guess you
points on
can
hold.
continue.
Unless you want to put all those points on hold, which you are able to do. I just want to respond to all the points real quick.
No, I
But
just
yeah,
wanted to clear it up. But if you don't want to, yeah, you're good.
yeah. So what's in question right now is whether or not Sasuke is faster or Lee's faster. So I think saying the fact that we know Lee's faster to try to attribute that towards his ability is just begging the question. And you also brought up the whole that Lee's unsurpassed speed. I think what typically happens in like mangas and stuff, or like even comic books, or even literally, sorry, commonly is that when someone has this main trait or this main ability, they usually hyperbolize this thing, right? So even if someone is like their whole attribute is just intelligence, and then someone else's attributes intelligence and speed and strength, they're more likely to give some sort of hyperbolic claim for the other character that just has the attribute of intelligence, even if the other character is also more intelligent than them, but they have speed and strength. And I also want to question: do you think that this character is faster than everyone else in the verse? And then for the whole like full speed wasn't responded to. I want you to kind of repeat that point, like what you do you mean by that point? Because all I really got from that was that he's not trying to use a full speed attack. I'm specifically saying that this attack is talking, or sorry, this statement is specifically in reference to the launch when he's unable to launch this attack. And then another thing as well is the whole like Sharingan thing. Like you think the condition is Sharingan, that's be again attributed back into the whole like wouldn't and couldn't thing. But you also brought up like the thing they say right after where they talk about like where they explain the Sharingan. They said that this is because of the Sharingan. He never says this is because of the Sharingan. He just decides to explain the Sharingan right after, which I don't think is linked in any way. I want you to prove that. And I actually think he's just explaining the ability. And also, it could just also be referring to like the wouldn't part, like he wouldn't do this because of the Sharingan, but more specifically, more precisely, he can't do this because of his capabilities. And then you said that like you then kind of also use the fact that you think that the Sharingan is like the condition here, meaning he doesn't need to train the Sharingan in order to use his attack. Again, I disagree with that, which is what it's gonna be based on that whether or not we win that point. But yeah, I just think that specifically the main condition here is the speed because it's about him training speed. So it's gonna be based on whether or not we win that whole Sharingan point being a condition that's gonna be applicable to the statement of him being incapable of doing it. I'm finished. You can go. Did he cut out again? If he cut out again, I'm actually fucked. I wrote down my fucking points.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
That's my bad. I thought I was just yeah. So I'll say it again, but all I wanted to say was one sentence. You misunderstand. I'm saying previous to like this fight. Obviously, like it's in question if in this fight he's faster. But yeah, we know Sasuke was like very obviously way slower than Lee. He trained his speed to be somewhat comparable to Lee's. If you have some issue with that, I could show you that. But the whole like wouldn't have could have been in reference to the eyes, and then couldn't have was in reference to the previous thing. That's just not how it works. So he talks about like launching a full on a speed, and then that actually lends credence to the point. He says I wouldn't have, and then later he talks about like he couldn't have done this sort of like a thing because so he already has the previous reason, but he still says wouldn't, and then he says couldn't. And then elaborates on like the new reasons he sees like he doesn't have like this eye thing. Also, I don't think like it's a speed claim at all. I don't think like speed is any issue here. He literally says you've obtained a high speed body just like mine, and now you possess a Sharingan. So it seems like what he's saying is like he has this sort of like equivalent aspect.
So who says that?
At least like relevantly, at least says that. And then like the Sharingan is what's shown as like this sort of additive that like even like narratively they're trying to portray like
So
does
is
this
that in
thing.
one of the scans I sent, or you sent it?
You sent it already, and then
Which page, man?
it's in the two you sent. The first two, and then again, it doesn't speak on like the sort of semantical usage. Obviously, like him saying he wouldn't have launched a full speed on attack. That doesn't speak in terms that doesn't make any sort of comparison between his and Sasuke's speed. That's just saying he wouldn't have ran full speed at someone. So if you think that all he's saying here, because this seems like a little bit of like a very absurd claim, Are you saying like because with here all he's saying if that's to be taken as what couldn't refers to, all he's saying is he can't run full speed at someone, which sounds like absurd. But yeah, if that's the sort of claim, sure, go for it. That doesn't really make sense. Also, that doesn't speak on Sasuke being faster than him. And then yeah, the whole yeah, the whole thing you argued isn't. Also, I think you misunderstood the parking point too. I just said like there's a there's a difference in terms of like permissibilities. Like maybe let me like think of another example. Maybe like your some sort of inner rules you abide by. Maybe like you're fine punching somebody, right? But if it's to like a higher degree, like maybe shooting someone in the fucking throat, um, or maybe you're fine cracking somebody, but like that doesn't mean you're cool on all terms of sex. Like maybe you're obviously you'd find like rape very impermissible. So it's again that whole like can't park there that seems to be attacking the relevant part. But yeah, I guess you can go. But soon, I think we should just move on. This, if you like give a non-response, I'll just move on. Like this seems very unproductive. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, I just want to say specifically that this is talking about the launch of the attack. So, any like reference to like the Sharingan makes no sense to be attributed to the launch of this attack. I just want to make that very clear on why he says he couldn't do this thing. He couldn't launch it because of the Sharingan. No, sorry, that we know he can't be speaking about the condition of the Sharingan in reference to launching it because launching it is completely irrelevant to whether or not it would be effective. So when he says he couldn't launch it, it makes the whole statement of the Sharingan be completely irrelevant here. But yeah, so I want you to show like the whole thing about Sasuke being slower than Lee. I want to talk about that. And then there's like so many points. Hold on, I just put down some cliff notes. Yeah, so the whole like car permissibility thing, like I can punch someone, but I wouldn't shoot them. I can have sex, but I wouldn't rape them. I don't think that's talking about permissibility here. Oh, sorry. In reference to permissibility here, you can make those arguments, but that's specifically just talking about law here, right? Like I can't shoot someone because it's illegal, and I can't rape someone because it's illegal, but I can punch them in
Whoa.
like a.
Hey,
Hold on.
no. Again, that's not the claim I was making. If you don't want me to
Anyways.
explain it, you can continue.
Anyways, I continue. Yeah. So I think if it's talking about desires, that like, oh, the reason why people say they can't is because of desires. Again, it just makes more sense for them to say wouldn't. So if they're excluding wouldn't here, then we understand that they're not incorrectly using couldn't to do this thing. So already, I think incorrectly using what is less likely. But then also the fact that he said he would rather say couldn't than wouldn't here also explains that this isn't in reference to his desires to explain that this thing here. In terms of permissibility, I think it's in reference to your permissibility based on your desires. Because again, likely people talk about permissibility in some external figures. So when you give these examples, I think it's more so just them incorrectly using the term. I've actually seen people say, yeah, I could kill you right now if I wanted to, which is more so talking about capabilities. So I think typically it's less like what you just gave in terms of how they use it. And I think it just makes no sense for them to use it that way. And then you brought up something on, what was it? Oh yeah, he brings up his speed and then his Sharingan. I understand that they both have high speed, but I think what he's trying to explain here is that they both have speed. He doesn't have the Sharingan, but he specifically explains that Sasuke just has way more speed than him. That's kind of putting into question is we're trying to speak about right now is how much extra speed does Sasuke have in comparability to Lee to say that he's able to do this ability? And then again, you keep bringing up this thing after that they explain it. Again, I want you to prove that these are somehow linked or this is some sort of extrapolation of the previous point because it just basically what they do in a lot of fictions, they explain an ability after it's being brought up. So I think it's more likely that. And also, if you want to say that it is extrapolated, again, I think it's more so talking about the wouldn't. So even if you say that, oh, they said wouldn't, then they say couldn't. Well, it's just saying couldn't as a more precise figure. So wouldn't is still applicable here because he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't prefer to use it because of the Sharingan, but also he couldn't do it as well. And is there anything else? Yeah, the full speed attack. You already explained that's just them crediting it towards ability. Yeah, I think that's probably all the points here. Continue.
Fuck me. Why does it keep muting me? I'm not muting myself. Holy shit. Yeah. So again, it's saying launched isn't to speak on like that being the only thing he can't do. I think that just means like if he's launching this thing, he's gonna finish it or like maybe like the move forces you to like run in a straight line. I really have no clue. It doesn't really matter. But clearly like he speaks on later or like he speaks on different things. Also like clearly there's very like obvious reductios. If we just take that to be the conditioner, like what's meant there, so I just don't affirm that to be true.
Wait, sorry,
And
say that
then very
again. Wait,
very
sorry, say it again. Say that part again.
Yeah, what part specifically? Like me not affirming it to be true? I think
Yeah,
that's just
what do you
trivial.
not find to be true? You said at least
It
there's some
it
sort of contradiction.
oh, yeah, I've already told you that. We just disagree on that. I'm talking about like the whole semantics of like the like everything said here.
The
Because
could and
we
wouldn't
you
part?
clearly yeah, and then the whole launch
Okay.
thing, the whole head on full speed. Like we
Yeah,
disagree on
I was just
our semantic. Yeah. So we just disagree on everything. So then yeah, like it.
I'm confused what you mean by we disagree on
I think
everything. What the fuck do you mean on everything? Every single word being applied in the scan?
okay, that's clearly not what I meant. No.
Okay, I was
But
just kind of
yeah,
confused
so,
with you try to write like that.
no, bro, I'm not gonna like say. I'm
I
not
didn't
gonna.
know. I didn't know your game, bro. I didn't know your game, bro.
You're good. I'm not. Just to be clear, I'm not gonna say. Oh, when I said couldn't, I meant like maybe a dog or some bullshit like that. You're good. But yeah, so it quite clearly like it seems like everything doesn't really fit. It seems like you're trying to find some reasons to explain it. I don't like. I think some of them were non-responses. The whole launch thing, I already explained that. Head-on full speed attack. I don't think there was an adequate response given to that. Oh yeah, the whole wouldn't into couldn't thing. I think like that actually justifies the claim even more. It gives it more probability with him going on to talk about like the whole perception and seeing the counter. Lee being faster prior to this. I guess like that's a trivial probability raiser. I don't really need that. And then him saying like you've attained a high speed body just like mine, and now you possess the Sharingan as well. Well, if there's some sort of like modal claim that he can't even do an ability because he just physically can't run even he just physically can't run fast enough to do it. But Sasuke can. I think that'd be like quite impressive. So I think that'd be mentioned. And you possess the Sharingan as well. I think that part is like what he attributes as like different from his, or like something relevant to the point where like he has to make mention of it. We know like the just trivially the Sharingan increases perception speed. You don't disagree with that, right? Like it helps you react better.
I don't know if it increases perception speed. I've been told that it allows you to precog.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that it doesn't matter like the semantics. Okay, so we because you haven't been disagreeing with that, I didn't want to try to like sneak that in there. Maybe like even though it's something like very common within the series, maybe you just hadn't heard about it. But yeah, like so yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. And then if the prerequisite or like the sort of condition that he can't fill is the Sharingan, then like obviously for Sasuke it wouldn't be common to because that's something that's just like he can already do. And then yeah, I guess we could move on from there. By move on, I mean, do you think I said anything different? I think I just kind of restated everything I already
No, there
said.
was like a few things.
Okay,
You
yeah,
said
go
that
go
the
ahead.
launch isn't the only thing you can't do. I completely disagree with that. I want you to explain why it's credited to anything external to his launch because it specifically say I cannot launch this full speed attack. So the launch part here is meant to explain what he's incapable of doing, and then the actual thing he's trying to explain what he can't launch is this full speed attack. So the full speed attack is a way of explaining features of the Chidori. To explain, he's talking about the Chidori. That's a subject. Explain the subject there. And when he says he can't launch it, that's specifically what he's crediting his incapability towards is him launching it. And then you said that Lee being faster prior to this is an irrelevant probability raiser. I'm kind of confused on what you mean by that. Like, I want you to show that if you think that it's some sort of probability raiser, but if you think that it doesn't raise any probability to a meaningful extent, then I think we can just disregard that, be a non-factor in terms of how we would interpret this.
Oh yeah, you can
And then
disregard it. By what I meant by that is just to say like I don't think it's like I don't think I need it to um prove it. So yeah, you could
okay,
just ignore that.
yeah, and then I just want to specifically refer to him saying that, like you said, he'd mention him not being able to. Sorry, he'd mention like the speed difference, something like that, in reference to when I said that he only references his speed and then like his Sharingan, and I said that he's referencing his speed, but I think his speed is of a lot higher capabilities. I think in the scan is him referring to the speed gap when he talks about the Chidori. That's why I think that they do end up elaborating, or sorry, Lee does end up elaborating on Sasuke's speed difference by explaining that he himself, Lee, he himself couldn't perform this ability that Sasuke is able to perform. And then you also again brought up the whole like he can already use the Sharingan things. That's not that's why they didn't explain the something that he trained. Again, like this is going to be just dependent on the previous points of the whole wouldn't couldn't thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only like Wait, you don't think I sufficiently justified the whole launch shit? Maybe we uh,
So what do you
maybe
mean
I
by justify? Like you gave reason towards you? Like you I don't know. Like what do you mean by that?
yeah, that's to say like maybe you thought like me positing it and would like was some shitty way, or like maybe you didn't think there was evidence for it. That's cool. I guess like you think that for the other points. The what the fuck did you what the fuck were we talking about that like we re brought up? So that point, the whole body point, the whole couldn't wouldn't, and then the whole like you've attained a high speed body. Well, yeah, trivially, like he also speaks on like having the eye to see the counters. So if that was like the sort of metric we'd be talking about, he wouldn't then be talking about the Sharingan again, if it was already explained. But he does bring it up, which serves to reason that like when he's talking about that, it is because it has some sort of relevance. It's not like I already said, it would be redundant to say it again. Was there anything else
I
that
think
like
everything else
I
that
think
I talked about is something that it's dependent on previous points that you think you want already.
can you repeat like everything else? Insofar as
Yeah,
like the questions,
yeah,
just
so
give me
like my
like
point was just
the question itself.
yeah, so like I think I questioned them why I think that launch is specifically the thing being referred to here. Also
Okay.
asked yeah, you brought up the whole like Lee being fast in the previous part is irrelevant here, so like we're just gonna throw that because you already think you won this point. And then you said specifically that like yeah, this is gonna also be referring to another point or be contingent on another point is you saying that oh they didn't mention when you said that Lee says that he has my speed, or sorry, he has speed, like he acquired my speed, but not I didn't have his like Sharingan or something like that. That was in the first two panels that I sent. I said specifically that he does end up mentioning his speed, and that's what I'm putting into question is I'm trying to argue that when he's talking about his inability to use the Chidori to, in reference to his speed, that there's a speed gap in Sasuke here. And then yeah, the whole like Sharingan, he can use it. He can already use the Sharingan. That's why they wouldn't have expanded that to be in the training. Again, that's contingent on another point that I think already won. It's contingent on a point that we already argued on.
Yeah, and then I guess the second question, um, or you wait, no, yeah, I agree that you can like question all of that. I just don't think those weren't things that weren't justified.
Wh-
I guess like the continuation from here would be, do you think that like Chidori increases your speed?
Yeah, I think he's your speed boost, but are you just trying to move on to something else, or is this like a point you're adding in addition to your previous
Oh, no,
points?
we're moving on from this.
No, no, I want to.
The,
I want to respond to the first because you said two things. What did you say? Because I had to like explain my points
yeah.
before we went
Sorry,
through.
sorry. No. The first thing was me like the first thing I literally didn't make any new claim there. If I did, you can throw it away. I don't think I ever made one. The
Okay.
only thing I did respond to was the whole like Sharingan shit. I said, yeah, very trivially in that same panel that you're saying he already talks about the speed. He also talks about the eye. So him bringing up
Okay.
again isn't like or him not talking about the speed again isn't. Obviously, speed there is like if I agree to your argument, but I'm saying that like I'm using this to show like some
Yeah, it's
sort
just
of
contingent on other stuff, right?
yeah,
It's contingent
yeah.
on other stuff already
So
argued.
it's to say that if that's the case, and he did already talk about it, he also did the same for the eye, but he mentions the eye again in some like
What do you
relevant
mean by
sense. He didn't.
he already did talk about it? What do you mean by that?
He literally says, "And I don't have the eye to perceive and see through that counter." So he already does glaze it in that sense. Like
That's
he
the
also does,
hold,
he makes
that's
a
the
claim
part
on not
right
being
after,
able
right?
to.
On the left?
He makes a claim on not being able to do this thing. So and to him for him to bring up the eye again and not like I guess relevantly mention the speed isn't some sort of like oh like he already did a thing. It's to say that like he already did both, but he still brings this up. So it's most likely gonna be the relevant attribute.
Okay, yeah, I think I already credited that towards something else twice, but
Yeah.
there was
If you
another
did,
point I
maybe
wanted
I didn't
to.
hear it. I don't really care.
Y-
And then the next point, you said like you think trivially the Chidori grants a speed boost. So then
Oh yeah. That's gonna be my yeah. That's what I'm
yeah
gonna talk about next. I just think that he's gonna get a
yeah
speed boost
no.
like
I
everybody else.
wanna I wanna no. That's not what we. That's not something we want to talk about next. If you say that that's not something I'm in disagreement of on this argument. And then do you agree that like Lee is faster than Sasuke, stats wise? Or I thought I said Sasuke is
Yeah,
faster than
no,
Lee.
I don't believe Lee's faster than Sasuke stats wise. I think the whole point is
Yeah,
that
I
I
got
think that
you.
Yeah,
No,
my
I
entire
got you.
argument is that Sasuke's being faster than Lee is what allows him to initiate Chidori, and I think Chidori also gives him a speed boost when he initiates it.
No, because the launch could be accredited to the sort of speed boost also.
So what do you mean the launch is gonna wait? Hold on. So the launch of the attack is gonna be credited towards what that attack initiates.
Do you think by launch he's talking about like before he runs?
I think about it's when he. Well, this is what launch literally means when you activate this attack.
Okay, well, it can't be before he runs because you literally said he doesn't have the speed to do this thing, so he'd have to already be moving, right? He's saying he can't move fast enough for this thing, so that's like an internal contradiction right there. It
Sorry,
has
what
to
do you
be
mean
talking about
before
some
he?
level of
What do you mean by
movement.
before he runs?
Oh, okay. So he says
I'm
you
still.
said he doesn't have the speed to do this thing. And then you
Yeah,
said the launch doesn't take speed. That's
no, that's
contradictory
not
if
what I
it's
said.
talking about the launch. Okay, so
That's
what
not
did
what I
you
said.
say?
I'll make it clearer. It was basically just to say that I do believe what my entire argument is that he has nothing in his internal capacity that allows him to initiate this attack. But I do believe the attack itself, when you initiate it, gives a speed boost to what you previously have.
Uh, When you initiate the attack, it gives you a speed boost.
Yeah, like you just
Okay.
like.
So sorry, I don't know. I was typing, so I don't know if I didn't catch that there. That
Okay,
sounded
I'll
like a
make it.
non-response. Could you just like repeat that because it was really short, anyways?
Yeah, it was just that. Sorry, it was just that. Oh yeah, I believe that he's saying nothing in his internal capacity allows him to launch the attack specifically, and and then when you launch the attack, it gives you a speed boost.
Um, Nothing in his internal capacity allows him to launch the attack fast, and then when he launches it, you get a speed boost. Is that the claim?
Sorry, my bad. I zoned out so bad, bro. Yo,
Okay,
say that again, bro. Yo, my bad. Say that
I
again.
was just kind of like repeating what you said back to you. So is it because I zoned again? I can't lie. Like this point took me in there. I was just zoning out.
Yeah, no, no,
We
it is
zoned
getting
out
boring
back
now.
to
It is
back.
getting boring as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Did you say that like he doesn't have the speed to launch the attack, and then after the fact, like it also grants a speed boost?
Yeah, that's my top point. Yeah, like so, the whole couldn't thing, the whole thing we just argued there is to argue that he doesn't have, Lee doesn't have the speed that Sasuke does in order to initiate the attack, and then when you initiate the attack, you get faster as well.
Well, yeah. So you do agree you have to move to initiate the attack, right? Trivially.
I'm not 100% sure on how that shit works, but I guess.
Well, it'd have to be for like the whole he doesn't have the speed to initiate it thing. Well,
Yeah,
that just
I mean,
seems like
it's not that he has to. It's that even if he did use his speed prior to it, it still wouldn't allow him to launch the attack.
yeah. So I think like there's, bro. I was about to resend your scans. Am I retarded? All right, just look at the scans you sent. Very like what do you think attributes what do you think is like giving him that speed boost? Do you think it's the like electric chakra?
I have no idea how this ability works. I just know that it's like some fast ass shit that lets you fly across the fucking map, and it makes you move so it's like it lets you move so fast, it's faster than you yourself can perceive,
I
right?
don't think that's what's happening, but
Like if someone counters you as you're initiating this attack, then it will be like for them in order to counter you, it'll be faster than your own perception because you're moving that fast when using Chidori, right?
no, I think Hermes, do you think if you ran straight at me right now as fast as you could, I countered attacked, you'd dodge out of the way? Like what? It's just
Yes, I'd
hard
have the
to do.
perception. My perception speed would be a lot
It's
faster
just
than my
hard.
ability to run.
That's just hard to do. No, that's just hard to do. Like that's not the response to it. The response is if you're running straight at me, so there's something moving towards me, and my hand is moving towards you. That the combined speeds is so fast that you can't react to it. Yes, that doesn't mean
Uh,
you can go to yourself run.
no,
It's two
I don't
separate
believe.
things.
Yeah, I don't believe that my speed in conjunction with yours or in addition to your speed is somehow faster than my own perception speed up. My perception speed is gonna be like hundreds of times faster than my ability to move. But yeah, I think you're able to dodge as
Wait,
well because
whoa. That
your legs are just a lot slower. Like your legs move your body a lot slower than you're able to like
that
dodge and
that,
weave
that
and
doesn't
shit.
make sense. Also, it seems like.
What do you mean
Well,
it
it
doesn't
seems
make
like he
sense also?
charges the Chidori. It seems
Fuck.
like he charges the Chidori. If there's no like if there's nothing given on like what actually is attributed to that speed amp, I think like the only thing we see different here is like the electricity. So if there's like some relevant difference and then we only see relevant attribute change, I think like that'd be what it's attributed to. I think quite obviously like launching
What, the
the attack,
electricity?
but yeah, also I think quite trivially like launching the attack there'd have to be some sort of movement there for under your interpretation, obviously, for Lee to not be able to do so because of his speed. That just follows, right? It has to be a condition. So if
Sorry,
that's
say
the
so,
case,
so I don't believe the electricity is allowing him to do this. I think that's just him probably just building up his speed or something.
um, I'll continue then. So then, like, it seems to me like if there's some sort of amp attributed to the technique, and there's some sort of movement that needs to be done if he like runs at the dude, then even
So
under
when you
your
say that speed is attributed
interpretation,
to technique, what do you mean by that?
it, I mean, when you said that Lee doesn't have the capability to launch
Uh huh.
the attack, and then that's because of speed, that means that the implicit claim there is that for to launch the attack, you need um some sort of heightened speed. But yeah, so and like I guess the continuation from there is that like if that is the case, and we know the ability amp speed, I don't see why it isn't true that even if like obviously I disagree, but even if you did like or even if I did grant that point under like some
So it feels
hypothetical,
like you're trying to slip
I
in.
like
Sorry,
it.
my bad. It just feels like you're trying to slip in the argument that it isn't speed that allows him to do this because there's some sort of external like electricity
No, no,
charge
no,
that
no,
allows
no,
him
no,
to.
no, 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 no. I'm saying no. I'm saying like obviously like all I'm saying is like, well, I'm not affirming that it's speed that like the whole launch thing is talking about speed. I'm not saying that like there's a counter argument I'm giving. No, no, no. If I gave any counter argument to that, just ignore that. All I care about is saying that if we agree, so if I were to like take your interpretation that speed is like something needed to or like something used whenever you launch the attack, and we know the ability boost speed, then
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to. I don't think there'd be a defeater there that naturally Sasuke is faster than Lee. I think that's something that needs to be
Yeah, yeah.
argued or something.
That's the argument is that my entire point previously was that um like the main factor or the thing that allows him to launch this attack was speed, and then Lee doesn't have that, meaning Sasuke's faster, and then I believe the Chidori itself allows you to move faster as well, faster than you previously when you were able to launch the attack.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
So
I'm
I think
saying
me
that
winning,
that claim. Wait a second. That claim. No, no, no. It's not like a implicit claim. It's that claim needs to be justified too.
what that you sorry, the thing that allows you to use the Chidori is your speed.
No, no, no. The whole like Chidori only amps your speed like later on. It
Oh,
doesn't amp it within the launch whenever you like do take off.
yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about launching the actual ability itself. So the ability, if the ability is what amps your speed, then the thing that allows you to launch it's going to be preceding the ability.
Well, no, we see he charges. No, we see like he doesn't start running until like the ability's already initiated. That I don't know why you made that claim. You sent the scans. Like
Oh
he literally
no.
charges the electricity in his arm, and then he starts running or like he starts using his speed. So for one, if it's the case that maybe like he charges electricity in his hand or like he charges electricity and electricity is the prerequisite to speed, then very obviously like that would amp the speed before he starts moving. So maybe that's why Lee can't do it. Or in the other way, if maybe like while he's like getting ready to start the technique, he starts amping himself with chakra like in terms of his legs to like run faster, like he starts building up a lot of chakra. Maybe that's why Lee can't do it. I don't see why like it necessarily has
That's
to
an
be
interesting
after
thing,
he's
bro.
already launched it.
Yeah, no. So I feel like my entire argument was just that Lee isn't capable of doing this even if he like got a head start and started running. I believe what we're seeing here, Sasuke specifically is able to do this based on no momentum. He's just able to run and initiate the attack. So I just believe that this shows again further that Sasuke is much faster than him. I think the whole electricity thing is just like kind of the spear of his attack. So like it's irrelevant to his speed. It's just the AP of his attack in order to get past the fucking thing on Gara. I think that's just he used that in conjunction with speed. But yeah, I think it makes no sense for you to say that you can use your prior sorry you can use the ability to launch the ability. That just seems kind of like a chronological like contradiction right there.
No, he starts charging up the chakra and the electricity and the Chidori. We
I don't
know
think
he
that's a
does that
Chidori though.
before.
So I disagree with.
Well, whatever that is, like something that's a prerequisite to the Chidori, it doesn't matter what it is. So it's to say that like while he's doing that, whether you don't want to call it the Chidori or not, just whatever he's doing in preparation for thing, he could also just be preparing his speed. Very obviously, he's already charging up the chakra and like getting everything ready. I don't see why you're randomly claiming that he goes afterwards.
Yeah, no, again, I don't think that the electricity thing is connected to the Chidori. I don't see anything that leads me to believe that. I think again that's just his AP that's used as the spear for his Chidori. I don't think he even again used any sort of amplification for him to launch the attack of the Chidori. I think he literally just comes off of a wall, then used the Chidori. It just shows that his when you launch off something, when you jump off something, compared to you running and building up momentum and then being that fast, I think it just shows Sasuke is that much quicker than Lee, that he's able to just jump off something and build. His initial speed is gonna be faster than Lee's build up speed because Lee says he's incapable of doing this thing, while Sasuke is able to do it when he's just jumping off a wall.
Yeah, so it seems like that sort of was a non-response. We could move on to the next point. What do you think about like Lee being shown faster in the data book?
I said that was hyperbole.
Hyperbole and what?
What?
The
Wait, what
the
data
sex
book are you sending? Is it?
it's something that yeah,
Oh, I think you're
it's
talking about the unsurpassed thing. Are you not talking about that?
no. But yeah, that lends credence, but that's like something I haven't even talked about yet. No, like in the data books, Lee is just shown to be or have a higher speed stat than Sasuke. And
Sorry,
taijutsu
say it again.
stat, which is like so
Uh,
taijutsu is like your physical movements, and speed is also a category. Lee's faster than or Lee's better in both categories than Sasuke.
hold on, I just want to make the. I'm kind of confused when you said the previous point wasn't a response. Is your point? Because I just want to make clear I'm like accurately capturing your point there. I just want to make
Oh
sure I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
misunderstanding it.
We could go back for a
What?
second. Yeah, yeah. Go
We
ahead.
yeah. What's the point? Are you not trying to say that you think that it's like implicit that he's using some sort of he's using the Chidori to amp up? Sorry, he's using something from the Chidori to allow himself to launch the attack.
Maybe. Oh well. Okay. It seems like you were. It seems like you were kind of having
Because it's
issues
kind of it was
calling
kind of
it Chidori.
it's
Yeah. Wait. It seems like you were having issues calling it the Chidori. So maybe not that. I'm just saying something he does like in preparation to launch, like to the actual attack, like something in preparation to launch the actual attack. Whether
okay.
that be building up chakra in his feet or like building up the electricity. What I meant by non-response isn't like you didn't like hear what I said or like something like that. You attacked the argument. It just said I don't
Okay.
like. Or you attempted to. I just don't think you did. Right?
Yeah, no, I
I
just yeah, I just wanted to make sure like I understood that point.
yeah
I don't
yeah.
want to
So
like
so what do you think
yeah,
about
no,
like
we
what do you
continue
think
in a
about
second.
the
So
data?
let me see. So was it just that it has what the fuck is the second one? Is that not literally a Wikipedia guide? So not even a guide, just a Wikipedia link. The one that says speed 4 4
Oh
speed three three
Someone
point five.
someone just looked at them and like you see how like it has those like it's like a spider web and it has them going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone just looked at them and compared them, but you could do it yourself. That's just for ease. It's like,
Holy fuck, what is that? This ugly ass scan, bro.
but yeah, you could just you could look at it yourself and compare. Like I just sent that because that's like someone looked at it, like looked at the pictures and then put the stats in there. Um,
Okay, let me understand what the fuck this is. Oh my god. And then speed is the bottom right. Yo, how the fuck does that little thing
bro,
mean speed, bro?
Hermes? Did you invite like a bunch of random retards into the server just to listen to this debate, bro? Not
I
like not like to syndicate. That's not if that sounded like that. I'm not saying that, but holy fuck, there's a lot of like random retards that ping me,
it's
bro.
my
So
comp,
I
bro.
get
It's my
big
comp. My
back,
comp
but
pulled up, bro. My
yeah,
comp's pulled up, bro.
I know your calm pulled up. Like obviously, I'm not gonna clown people. Like
They
obviously, I'm
pulled
gonna
up,
go in
bro.
here and
Yo,
give us
we
our
had
opinion.
20 viewers, bro. We had 20 viewers,
But
bro.
fuck, yo, no, I don't care about like I don't care about them like trolling or anything. But fuck, I'm getting
Okay.
pinged so much. Like the boys just stay pinging.
Yo, my bad, bro. My bad. But
No, you're good. Go ahead.
what the fuck is? I'm trying. I want to make. I don't want to be seem dishonest, but I want to understand what these like the spiral things are referring to. I don't know if that means speed. Hold on. Let me. Bro, what the
You could
fuck?
translate it
Such a
yourself
shitty
if
ass
you
thing.
want, but yeah, the third scan is to show you like which specifically is what. So there's one that says
Okay, hold on.
speed, there's one that says stamina, there's one that says skill mastery. Like there's one for these different statistics, and then like using the translation of the different statistics. Someone filled out the chart for who wins and what.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me get a fucking translation on this, bro. Yo, the quality of this shit is so fucking
Why
ass,
am I
bro.
getting, why am I getting mass pinged again, bro? Please.
Yeah, they're probably doing that shit just because you said it, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro.
Hey, I'm just happy you didn't use the fucking data book, bro. Like that argument's so
The
retarded,
strongest
bro.
thing?
Like, yeah, the one scan, bro. Like, oh my god, this one scan proves he just wins automatically. Shit's so stupid.
I got some prep on some arguments, bro. I got some arguments, bro.
Yeah,
Um,
no. Like,
that
hey,
was
bro,
definitely
go.
that was definitely one of that was definitely one of them. That was in the bank, bro. That was in the bank, bro.
Hey, as long as you don't like start with it, you're not too far gone, bro. Like people send that and then like the response. Well, obviously I'm gonna say this while like you're doing it. This isn't like an actual response to the argument yet, but
Okay.
like some people send that like first scan and they're like, I'm gonna one scan you. Like it says he's stronger, and I'm like, like if he's stronger than Lee, what the fuck does that mean on him be like winning the fight? That doesn't even respond to like anything. Like sure he's stronger than Lee, and then I asked him like how does he win because of that, and they're like, oh, because he's stronger. It's such just a question bag, bro. Can these guys stop pinging me? Fuck.
Yo, bro initiated the fucking ping of doom, bro. Hold on, is this gonna be the last point, bro? Because I literally like this
Yeah,
shit. I'm not gonna lie, this shit is pretty boring, bro.
obviously like you haven't scaled AP, I haven't scaled my character, but if you want to like make this the last point, we can.
Okay,
I could
so
even I could
the
even tell you like okay, I could even tell you fuck the data book. Like we already argued, that's fine. If you
what do you
just want
mean?
to
What do you
like
mean? You want to disregard the data book and then just make it all
the data
contingent on
book is
pure
in like
statistics based?
obviously like I think the data book like helps my argument, but I'll just say like, hey, imagine I never argued that. Like imagine right after we ended that we stopped. Obviously what that means to say is like whoever won the points, right? Because clearly like my character hasn't been scaled above yours, vice versa. But whoever won the points is going to be the winner of the debate. Is that what
Yeah, the
you're
points
kind of
previous to the data
proposing?
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah,
Fuck
I'm
that.
not gonna lie,
Okay.
this shit is
You're
boring,
cool if
bro.
I save it then, right?
Yeah, that's it.